All right, evening guys. I'm not sure why so many persons are not in the class. Is it that you guys were in a class and the teacher went over time, or?
Yes, sir. We just finished class.
All right, because other lecturers need to be considerate. They can't go over into other people's time. Each course is equally important. Because I'm wondering why is it that you guys are why is it that you are coming into the lecture late? Okay. Evening everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, sir. Evening, sir.
I think I had asked persons to come to prepare to show me your sentence outline, but let's finish up the lecture on APA. Let's finish up the lecture on APA. And I know some persons have been getting some feedback from Margaret. Some of her comments are a little bit, I think, too strong. I don't necessarily agree with all of them. I think some of her comments are strong, but I guess you work with it, okay? You need to show evidence that she has reviewed your paper. So each group must send her at least one draft of your sentence outline with her comments, with her feedback, okay? And then and then of course you have to show me that paper. I've seen some of them, some persons have sent her, and her comments, as I said before, sometimes are a little bit too harsh, but nonetheless you work with it. It's a review process, don't take it personal. That's just how academia works. I don't agree with everything that she says because she teaches one way, some persons teach it another way. How I was taught to teach the course is different, slightly a little bit different from some of her comments. And I know that she and some of the colleagues at UWE, they never saw eye to eye in terms of how she felt about certain things. Um, but we'll work with it, okay? Janelle Johnson, go ahead.
Hi, sir. Even, sir. Just asking a question. Please correct me. Um, I remember you were saying that we're supposed to send our sentence outline to Miss Margaret for an update, so forth. Is it that and I can recall you said we will show you first, and then after you've seen it, we'll send it to her. Is that sir? Is that so, sir?
Were you at the last class?
Yes, sir, but maybe if you make an different update, maybe I might chip out or somewhere down the line.
So you were supposed to show me in class first. I commented and then I said, okay, you can send it off to Margaret.
Miss Emmanuel, they show it for our groups. I don't know the feedback, all of the feedback that was given
Yeah,
basically.
did you talk to her, Miss Johnson?
Yes, sir. She told me the correction that was
Yeah,
supposed to.
so make the correction, send off the paper.
Oh, I did make the correction, sir.
Yeah, just send off the paper to her now because she's going to give you feedback and then I'll comment, okay?
Okay, sir. Could you send the email in the chat when you?
I'm not sending any email in the chat. I've sent that thing so many goddamn times. I'm tired of sending it. All right, ask somebody in the class, okay? I've sent it too many times. I've shared it in the WhatsApp group. I've shared it in the chat. At some point in time, you guys need to take responsibility, okay? Just as though the other person sent it to her, you're going to find a way to send it to her. I've shared it too many times. Is there anybody who wants me to look at your sentence outline before I go into the lecture? Roberta, I don't remember seeing any paper from you. Go ahead, Roberto. And when I say Roberta, I mean you and your group members. I don't remember. Go ahead, Roberto. Your hand is raised, but you need to unmute and speak. He probably is driving, so he raised his hands. But
My background is a bit noisy. Let me just share screen, sir.
yeah, just share screen and I'll comment. I'll tell you what to fix and so forth. And I'm going to go back through the introduction. I think you guys kind of okay with the conclusion. I don't think the conclusion is your problem. I think the topic sentence and the supporting evidence might be posing a challenge for you. Okay, what are the impacts of workplace safety on staff? All right. Why is the introduction indented? It's not supposed to be indented. Everything is supposed to be left aligned. It's not supposed to be indented. Could you left align it for me, please? You never needed to do that. Okay, so you know that you're supposed, that's not how you left align it. All right, so you need to know, you need to sort that out, okay? And I'm not, your introduction should only have one citation, okay? Only one. Only one. All right, scroll down for me. Where is after the introduction, you should have the topic sentence with the supporting evidence. Where is that? So, all right, so hold on, delete all of that for me, right? Copy. No, go back up for me. Right, all three, delete for me. Just press delete. Where are you going, sir? Scroll down for me. Scroll down for me. Where's the second topic sentence with the supporting evidence and the third topic sentence with the supporting evidence? Where's that? All this time you only have an introduction, a conclusion, and one topic sentence with supporting evidence. Where's the contribution of the other members of the group? I am not asking them anything, Roberta. You guys are you're in the same group, so you guys need to work out your issues. I'm not going to get involved in that. Okay, so we can fix it, sir. Okay, so clearly there's some issue with the group. I don't know if there's an issue with the group. Okay, all right. Thanks for sharing screen, but remember the topic sentence should come right after the introduction and then the conclusion and then the reference list. Alicia Whittock, I don't know that I know your name. Are you new in the class? The name seems very unfamiliar to me. Miss Whittock? Okay, not answering. Alea Howard, have I looked at your sentence outline?
Yes, sir, you have.
Have you sent it off to Margaret to look at?
Yes, sir, and she gave me corrections to resend it now.
Okay, all right, no probs. Carla Buckle, what about you? I don't know if you're in the same group.
No, sir. I'm still finished up my conclusion, so I can send it off to her.
Yeah, you can send it off with her without me looking at it, though.
You look at the last class, sir.
Okay, all right. Howard, Alea Howard. Oh, I just spoke to you, right, Miss Howard?
Sorry, you just spoke to me.
Yeah. It's because of the way the thing works. Carla, is it Carla I just spoke to, right? Chantal Patterson, what about you?
Sir, I didn't hear what you said. Come again. You were in and out.
Okay, did I look at your sentence outline and give feedback?
Yes, sir, you did on Monday.
Okay, and have you sent it off to Margaret to look at?
No, sir. We were just fixing up the conclusion part, but we haven't finished with the conclusion.
Okay, all right. Send it off to her. I think she says Friday is good for her. Eunice,
All
what
right,
about you?
Good evening, sir. Sir, I'm in the group with Janelle Johnson and Chantel Emmanuel, and I think Janelle did so, sir.
Okay, all right, good. Sutherland, go ahead.
I'm in Carla's group, sir.
Okay. How do you pronounce your first name?
It's Janelle.
Janelle. Okay. All right. So it's as a G. Okay, Janelle. Nikita Allen, what about you?
Yes, sir. We send it out to her.
Okay. All right, good. All right. Tanashi Harris. Miss Harris.
Sir, Tanashi is in my group.
Good night.
Oh,
yes,
she's in your
I'm
group?
with Alia.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks. Shanice Plummer.
So I'm in group with Roberto.
Have you contributed to the paper?
Yes, sir.
Which paragraph are you working on? Which topic sentence did you work on? Because he only has one.
So we didn't know that we were to do that. We finished the conclusion last night, and
No, but other people, that I taught you that long time. The topic, each person is supposed to take one topic sentence and
Sir,
develop.
we didn't know that we would have done it, sir.
Okay, I'm not sure how you don't know that, but other groups have their topic sentences with their supporting evidence. And even when Margaret came to the class, persons were showing all of that to her and she was giving feedback. And that was from last year. I think that was actually in November, not even December. All right, so you guys are a little bit behind.
Okay.
I'm seeing two. Oh yeah, Shanette Bailey, what about you?
She's in the group with me, sir.
Okay, all right. I think I've called all the names of the persons who are present. No, I'm not sure who Alicia Whittock is. Okay, so we looked at citing sources, how to cite sources using APA. We also now want to look at where we can get information relating to sources. Okay, where can we obtain information? Here. So this is a lecture that was developed by my former colleagues at the UA, but I use it from time to time as a part of teaching academic writing. As you can see, 2018, I was teaching at UA at the time, teaching academic writing. So one of the important things is to know where you can obtain information. That's very critical, where you can obtain information in terms of credible sources, okay? And this is just showing you, for example, let us say that these are broad topics, right? Mental health, incarceration, privacy and internet, or social media, privacy and the internet, or privacy and social media. These are just various broad topics. And it says types of information sources. In other words, what kind of information sources can you use and where can you go to get credible information that can be used in your academic papers? All right, and they are showing you the research process where you get the assignment, you develop a topic, your words to search by, you include types of sources, and then of course you evaluate the sources and integrate them into your paper and cite them properly. So types of information sources, you have what is called published works or unpublished works. Published works are really, they have authors and publication dates and so forth. Unpublished works are like PhDs, the PhD theses that are in, for example, a library. You have to go there to get special access to them, or even a master's thesis that has not been public or published. For example, my master's thesis was not published, but I've published a chapter out of my master's thesis. Published works, these are some examples: books, periodicals, newspapers, audiovisuals, government publications, online media. And reference works, they're talking about like dictionaries and so forth, in terms of sometimes when you're looking at particular topics, you might need specific definitions. I've always said that depending on the topic that you're looking at, you can sometimes the online, like the Merriam-Webster's dictionary definition might not be the best one. You might just need to find let's just say that you're writing about something relating to accounting. You might need to find an accounting handbook and use a definition from that, or even use one of your sources to help you to define a particular term or concept. So please remember that you can repeat a source in your paper. All right, so if you let us say that you are cited from a book titled How the World Went Around, and the author is Clark and Brown, you can cite Clark and Brown at different points in your paper. All right, it's not going to be counted as a third or a second source. It's the same source, because when I look at the list of references, you're just going to see those particular sources. Textbooks, I'm sure you're familiar with textbooks. So they help to put topic in context, and this is why it's important to look at books that are very current, so that you get current information. Sometimes you look at books that are outdated to get historical information, but even the current books usually have some amount of history in them. They historicize the topic. You might find summaries for your research that can help you to that you can include in your paper. These are, I think this is what, periodicals. No, journal, sorry. So a journal is a periodical which generally contains material relating to research. Journals are very academic. Well, you have what are called academic journals. and they appear at regular intervals. In other words, most journals, academic journals, are put out in a kind of quarterly basis, and the content varies and can be about on every and anything. All right, and they have given you some examples in terms of types of journals. The word journal does not have to be in the title for it to be a journal, okay? Most journals do have the word journal in them, but it does not need to have the word journal in it for it to be considered an academic journal. Another reason journals are considered very credible as well is that the persons who publish in a journal, in a scholarly journal, as you're seeing here, they are usually, the papers are usually peer reviewed. So even about COVID-19, you will hear people make reference to like the literature or the research. And what has to happen is that you have to publish information relating to the subject area in a journal for other people to look at and to scrutinize to see if the information is credible and to actually even peer review the information. Then you have what are called popular magazines that are quote unquote journals, and those are the ones that we avoid. Those are not academic journals, okay? We're talking about scholarly or academic journals, and they help us to have a credible conversation about a subject matter. All right. So you use journals to find out what has been studied on your topic and to find citations that point to other relevant research. All right. Caution: use only peer-reviewed or scholarly journals for articles. For your papers, very important that you're using only peer-reviewed. And as I said before, peer-reviewed means that a group of persons who are expert in the area examined the paper before it was published, or examined the research before it was published. All right. Sorry, is the information reliable, current, authoritative, accurate, and appropriate? And is it enough? Very important questions or considerations when using journals as support. Then, of course, there are what are called databases. And databases are really digital platforms that you can use to access sources. And these are some examples: EBSCOhost, JS Store, ProQuest. Let me go on Excelsior's library to see which one they use. ECC. Let's cancel this. Let me see which platforms. Okay, this is CS. Where's library? Okay. So let me share screen and let's see which platforms they use. I think this is the library. I think so. Don't tell me the library is not working. This would be quite embarrassing. Let's go back. I'm sure this is the library. Yes, it is the library. It's not working. Let me send a message to Mr. Taylor. So the school library platform is not working. I'm going to send a message to the person responsible for it. Paul Taylor. All right. I don't know. Let me try it in a different way. Let's see if it works the other way. Excelsior, Community College, library. Let's take this off and put library. Okay, let's see if it comes up. Okay. We're getting technical things here. That's telling us about programs, not the actual library. Okay.
Sir?
Yes.
Background is a bit quiet now. I would love to see you bring up something from that library. Trust me.
Oh, so it's common that it's not working?
Well, from my end, that's what I've been experiencing because I've been trying to use it, but it's not working.
Okay. All right. So Paul just responded. Please resolve ASAP. I am trying to show them how to use the library databases. All right, I'm still going to send an email to the head Herfa. Online library. All right, so good day, Miss Morrison. I was teaching a class about research, about academic research, and was trying to access the library via the main website. I have been trying for about 15 minutes now, and all I am getting is an error page. Other students have stated that that has been their experience from last year. So long time ago from last year.
Yes, sir. Last year is correct.
Please see how best this can be resolved. Okay, let me just double check online library error page. Error page result. Let me call it that, error page result. Let me copy the vice principal, Zaria, because this is academic, and Paul. All right, so good day. I was here and was trying to access the library via the main website. All right, so I sent an email to the head, to the librarian, even though I've told Paul, but she has to know what is happening, and the vice principal needs to know what is happening because it's working. Paul says it's working. I don't know how it's working for him. And if it's working for him and not working for the actual customers, that don't make sense. All right, let's try this URL and see if it works. Unless we don't know what is the URL. wplrc.ecc.edu.jm. All right, let's see what happens. Not working on my end at all. Let me take a picture and show you what I'm seeing, sir. That's what we are getting. So I'm going to post what today's what? Tuesday? Today's which day? Wednesday or Tuesday? I don't remember.
Oh, Wednesday, sir.
Wednesday. Okay, that means it's not this group then. All right, can you try the URL in the WhatsApp group for me and tell me if it works for you? Tell me if the URL is working for you because he's saying it's working, but it's not working for me.
It's saying software error.
Right, that's what I'm telling you. It's saying software error, so I'm not sure what he's telling me. It's not working. Okay.
No.
It's not working. I wanted to show you. Do I still have my UA credentials? Oh, I probably can go into UA via my nephew's email, my nephew's account. Let's hope he hasn't changed the password. Login, continue. I don't think he has changed the password. All right, so I don't think I can go to the library through this medium. I should be able to. I don't think I can access the library from this end. I don't remember how to. I should be able to go my home. See, UE library. Let's see. I don't think I can access the library. All right. The normal little login, all kind of pull. I have not been a student in a while, so what would they allow me? Resources. Let's see. Use digital. No. Electronic databases, right? Which is this. Okay. All right. So I can actually. All right, so let me show you something then. I don't have to actually access it. All right, so electronic databases, as you're seeing the term here, it means that these are particular platforms that you can use to access books, journals, credible information for your papers. So this is EBSCO, and it says index the legal periodicals with full text once you are a registered student at a particular institution, which is what I was trying to do with our library page. It's not working. You have ProQuest, ProQuest Central. Again, access books here. Global, you access book here. EBSCO, you access books here, and it goes on. These are what are called online digital platforms. And as you realize, they have several of them depending on the area of study. So students, for example, who are majoring in food and agriculture or anything relating to food and beverage or anything, they go here. Those who are doing pharmacy would go here. They are different, they're customized in ways that you can actually access databases, access journals and books and so forth. So if you look here, it says books, book reviews and so forth. Then you have West Indies database. Again, these are other platforms that you can use to access credible information depending on your area of research. Okay, US Scholar, yeah, things like that. Let me show you an example, even though it's not a journal, but did I show you something that I wrote? Let me see if I can find a copy of it. What's the name of that thing now? So, okay, all right, yeah. So this is an example of an edited, what is considered a scholarly book, Dancehall, Read and Jamaican Culture. There are different scholars who are in it, including yours truly. I'm in it as well. And it is peer reviewed. It's an edited collection by my former boss, Sonia Stanilaya, Dr. Sonia Stanilaya, and there are 29 contributors. You're seeing my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if you look here, this is Dr. Stanley Naya. I think she's a professor. This is a Dr. something something. This is Professor Caroline Cooper. This is, I think he's Professor No. Here is Robin Clark. This is me. Let's click on my name and see what comes up. Oh, they're not gonna show you inside of the book. No, they're not gonna show you inside the book. So it's an example of a peer-reviewed academic work. So it's not something that was written by a group of friends. This is something that was written by experts in the area of Jamaican culture, specifically relating to Jamaican dancehall, and it would have been peer-reviewed by several people. Peer-reviewed before publication. Okay, so this is an example of a scholarly piece. Of course, Jamaicans, we don't make these books available. We don't make you're not able to see inside of the books. And these, like Garth White is a very respected academic on Jamaican culture, Jamaican dancehall. Norman Stolzoff, the first person to do any academic research on Jamaican dancehall. Erin McLeod, she actually lives in Canada, in Quebec. She's a scholar. Dennis Howard is another scholar, and he's also the general manager for RJR Communications, I think. I'm not sure if he's still there, but I know he now teaches at UA as well. This is Professor Donald Hope, another respected academic. So these are persons who are academic. So this is an example of a scholarly piece, all right, like a scholarly collection or anthology. I don't know why the thing is not working, because I really want to show you how database systems work, but I think you get the point. Let's go back to the lecture. And sometimes even your workplaces might have database systems that they use that you can have access to get information. Any questions? Is the information clear so far? Clear?
Yes, it's clear, sir, but I wish we would have gotten this information from early on.
No, you get it at different times so that you can now go and update your paper. Remember, that's why it's called the writing process. You're writing the essay over time. So as you're introduced to new information, you go and you make corrections. Can't teach you everything all at the same time. Okay. The newspapers, right? So newspapers, they're issued, as we said, daily, weekly, or monthly, and you can find information about international and national events. Just know that for this academic paper, you cannot cite from the Star, the Observer, the Gleaner, but not the Star, because the Star is really somewhat of a tabloid. All right. So you're not permitted to cite from the Star, but the other papers you can, and of course the newspapers can be international as well, and if you have international versions of the Stars, you should not cite from them either. So international papers newspapers are accepted as well. Government publications, you can cite from government publications depending on the nature of what you're looking at, and I'm talking about research generally. So if I'm carrying out research, even for marketing, as somebody who supervises marketing at Excelsior, I have to constantly be looking at government numbers, looking at statistics to inform what we do in terms of even the programs that we offer at the college, looking at, for example, the labor market intelligence. If you want to know sometimes what is happening at various companies, you look at their annual reports, look at legislations. This is what acts means. So there are different things that you can look at in order to get a sense of what is happening. Let us say that there's a debate about, Bob Marley or Usain Bolt becoming national heroes. You can go back to, for example, government publications relating to what specific acts of parliament were passed in order to award national hero or national heroine to any particular individual, and to have those kinds of conversations. So that government publications helps in terms of providing context and in terms of, again, helping you to substantiate your claims. All right. And you'll know that almost all ministries of governments present what is called an annual report. Audiovisual can also be used, not for this paper, not for the purposes of this paper, but generally you can also get information from research, get data from audiovisual media. I do that in my own writing when I'm writing academic papers. You watch, sometimes I have to look at music videos and do analysis. Sometimes you have to look at song lyrics. Sometimes, of course, it's recorded on DVDs and things like that, okay? Online media resources, and we did talk about, for example, so online media now is a little bit different. So almost all books and everything now are online. So the magazines are online, the journals are online, the newspapers are online. And this is why in your reference list, you need to have the hyperlink, the URLs for these particular sources. It's very important. All right. So when it talks about ebooks, I don't think anybody really uses CD-ROMs anymore. Those things are kind of out of it. And they're showing you examples of e-journals, Nature, Small Axe, Caribbean Quarterly, and almost all journals are now online because of, especially since due to COVID. Unpublished works, I mentioned as well, dissertations and theses, like for example, if you do your PhD or your doctorate or your master's thesis, these are unpublished works. You have reports that are written by different agencies, but they're not published. But there are times when you might get special permission to cite from them. I think when I was doing my master's, I had to seek special requests for certain, some information. Emails, Sometimes you are doing research again, and the person who is an expert in the area, you might email them, and a formal email in the form of because you want to get data from them or information from them, and they respond via email, and you'll have to account for that in your paper. But of course, not for what you are doing, but for if you were at my level in terms of masters and PhDs, okay? Human sources, of course, for the purposes of this course, you're not permitted to interview anybody, but generally when you're carrying out research, you can interview people who are experts in the area, or people who are not experts in the area, people who have had the kinds of experiences, things like that. I spoke about dissertations and theses. These are usually available in libraries across the world. Great literature information that is not available through normal book selling channels, such as reports, manuscripts, conference papers, and patents. These are generally the case, especially if you've ever been a part of a conference, presented a paper at a conference. They are not published, but you can get access to them with permission. For the retrieval of information, what are they saying here? Index to. So most of the information that you will be, if not all the information you'll be using, is what is considered to be secondary, because it was prepared by someone else. All right. Using the internet or using the World Wide Web to find internet sources and resources. So remember, Google is not the answer. And remember that Google is not a source. Google is a platform that can assist you to access information, credible information and pertinent information. Sorry. No, this is specific to you, and this is why I wanted to walk you through how to use our platform, which is Excelsior's platform. Let me see what Paul is saying to me. Okay, so he says he'll have to link parchment. Okay. All right, so they're still trying to remedy what they're doing. Okay, any questions? I think that's the lecture for, is that the lecture? All right, well, let me show you some other ways of how you can obtain information. Let's go to Google again. Let me share screen. I don't know if I've said this to you before, but you can go to academia.edu, academia.edu. Anyone has ever used academia.edu? Which emails? No, these are none of my accounts. Why are they showing me this? Why am I not coming up on this thing? I'm logged in. Okay, right. So academia.edu, you just go there, you just type in academia.edu, and you can gain access to a lot of books, journals, stuff like that. They do it for free. So there's a link there. Let me put the link in the chat as in the WhatsApp group as well. Let's go back to where we were, academia.edu. So here I am. So this is my profile. Sorry. This was created some years ago. I look like a criminal. But so these are papers that I have written. A paper about Vibes Cartel, a paper about Jamaica creative and cultural industry, a paper about Tommy Lee that was actually published, and it actually shows you how many persons have read it. 35 readers, 64 readers. This has 280 readers, views, related papers, and it even tells you how many people cite your paper. They want me to upgrade in order to get all of that access to information, but I'm not going to upgrade. So persons who study Jamaican culture, why these assholes don't stop putting these ads. So this is my paper that I posted there. I'm supposed to fix this paper to get it published, but I'm too lazy. It's not finished. This is a paper by Professor Donna Hope. So let us say that you are writing about, give me one of the areas that you guys are writing about.
Cybersecurity.
Cybercrime?
Cybersecurity.
So if you're writing about cybersecurity and you want like find papers on cybersecurity, you go in, you type cybersecurity, take this off, and you see papers and papers and papers and papers. Here, there are several papers. You see, papers are here, right? And you just click through until you find the paper that you think is relevant to what you're looking at. So you might, let us be a little bit more specific. Let's say benefits of cybersecurity to a company. Let's say that's our topic. Let's see if they have any papers on that. All right, 8 benefits of hiring a security company, introduction to cybersecurity, and they're giving you different papers, and you scroll through until you find what you want. Okay. So that's academia.edu. The other platform that you can use is Google Scholar.
Yeah, I did that.
Google Scholar. So you go Google Scholar, and then again, you type in what you want. So let us say that you're looking at how, let's say how artificial intelligence and crime. Let's say crime. All right, you're going to see several papers coming up, and you see that this is a Sage journal. Where are they? Oh yeah, they want you to say accept all. I can't be bothered. All right, so this is, I don't want Sage journal though, because so this is Google Scholar. You can go through. Sometimes you're not going to get that.
Why you don't want Sage Journal?
I just don't want it.
Okay.
Don't think it's wrong with it. It's just that I don't want it, because they're going to tell me to sign up and pay and all of that. Some of the journals you have to pay. What you should look out for, if you're having a challenge of accessing the information here, try to see if you can get the PDF versions. Okay. Sometimes they give you the PDF version. Sometimes, so in this case, they're giving you the full paper. Right. This is a full paper that they're giving you, and you have to literally go through to see. Sometimes they do that. ResearchGate sometimes doesn't want, they tell you, so ResearchGate is giving you the paper. That's a miracle. They usually don't give you the access to the papers. Okay, ResearchGate. So you go to the side, you look to the side, and sometimes what I usually do sometimes is just type in Google Scholar as well as academia.edu. And if I find a paper on Google Scholar that I like and I can't access on Google Scholar, I try to see if I can access it on academia.edu. To see if it is free there, because even academia.edu, sometimes even textbooks are there, even textbooks. All right, the problem is that, well, not the problem, but you have to be taught these kinds of tricks about how you can go about getting information. I actually never learned this when I was an undergraduate. I learned when I was doing my master's, because they have to teach you these things when you're doing a master's. How to get information, because they mark you very hard, so they have to show you where to get the information. All right. I know ResearchGate, but I think ResearchGate sometimes is not so friendly to users. I think I actually have an account there as well. I find that they tend sometimes to want too much out of you. Let me see. I don't remember what was my ResearchGate thing. I don't remember that. I'm not going to try and discover. I don't remember. Oh, let's see if it works with. Where is? I thought they were going to let me sign in with Facebook. Nope. All right. So Google Scholar and academia.edu are your best chances. There are times too when you can do Amazon books, but the problem with Amazon books, sometimes they allow you inside of the text. Sometimes they don't always do that. So you can use Amazon, go on Amazon.com and go to the book section. Sometimes they let you in, sometimes they don't. All right. Any questions relating to accessing information?
No, sir, but what you showed us just now is going to really help my paper.
Okay, good. And I really wish, hopefully, and you should try and access the databases on the school library website, although it's not working. So Paul is trying to sort it out via someone else, but it shouldn't be, it's by chance we went on it, right? It should be working all the time. The other thing we want to look at is online newspaper paraphrasing. I did that already. Let me see here. If there was anything that I wanted to. Yeah, I kind of did that. Yeah, we did that. We did that. No, we never did all of this. I think there were some exceptions. I think we went through this already. No, what did you do? Did I lower the? No, you don't do that. Go back. Yeah. Give me 1 sec. Just ensuring that I cover all my grounds. Nope, we're not here yet because I want you to. Okay. All right, so I can do some of this again, repeat some of this. Okay, using, no, I don't want to teach you that yet. Not yet. It's gonna confuse you. Checklist or paraphrase. I can go through some of this. Okay. The other thing is, so that's one. I'm just checking something, guys. No, we're not ready for this yet because this is when you have the actual essay. No. No, not ready for this yet either. What was this again? Yeah, this I will. Okay, my YouTube links. Let's look at my YouTube links. Okay. All right, so let's revisit how to write an introduction and all of that. Do I go back APA? All right, let's revisit APA, some parts of it, and then we can. Not that, not that, not that. It's source integration. Yeah, integration 1. Yeah, so I can teach this because there's integration 2. I'm not reading. I don't have the energy to read all of these things. I know I'm not supposed to teach this yet. Oh no. Have you guys set up your Turnitin account?
No, sir, I don't know how to do that, sir.
All right, so let's do that. Yeah, I just remember that's what I thought. Okay. Login. Okay. Okay. I created one in the last class. What did I call that class? Oh, supply chain com one. Okay, so now I'm going to call this class name PSY com one. Enrollment key. No. It can be the same thing. I don't think it's an issue. This is going to be composition and student level is undergraduate. And yeah, that can stay. Submit. I'm not going crazy, people. I know you hear me talking to myself, but all right, let's post this in the WhatsApp group. All right, so there's something I've posted in the WhatsApp group that you need to pay attention to. I'm going to also post it in the chat here from my computer. Not download. It's from here. Okay. It's the enrollment class ID and the enrollment key. Okay. The other thing now is to YouTube. Turn it in. Turn. Okay. How to create a student. Okay, yeah, I found it. Very short. Click.
Better results, make a great impression, and save time at work, you should.
All right, so hold on. I have not disappeared. I'm just covering my bases so that you guys. All right, so let's watch how to create our account. Oh, this is not what I want. Okay, let's listen. And you're going to then follow the instructions, create your Turnitin account. I've also posted the link in the WhatsApp group as well as in the chat. And I'll give you about 5 minutes, okay? I'll know when you have created your student account on Turnitin because you have to upload your first draft of your sentence outline, okay? All right, so I want for you to watch the video on your own. And you're going to create your Turnitin account, okay? Remember the information that you need is also in the WhatsApp group and the chat, okay?
Okay, sir.
Giving you 5 minutes. Guys, you're not signing up. I'm only seeing Nikita Allen. What about the other persons?
I mean, sir, so
Presently
finish.
working on mine.
You can also click on that link, okay? All right, so I'm seeing Nikita, Chantel Emmanuel, and Janelle Sutherland. Now I'm seeing Nikita, Chantel, Alea Howard, Janelle Johnson, Chantal Patterson, Janelle Sutherland. Hurry up, everybody. I have 16 students in the class.
Sir, they keep sending the ID number, it's incorrect. I checked it. The original one I got from the school and it's the same thing as what I've written there. I'm getting the same message.
Sorry, is it mine?
All right, so the other persons, you're going to do it on your own time because I'm not going to use the rest of the teaching time just for you to
Excuse me,
decide.
sir, you didn't see mine? Tarnishe?
No, I'm not seeing it.
But I'm
Yeah,
saying,
Tanashe Harris. Yeah, Tanashe Harris, I see.
yes. Okay.
Okay, so let's get back to regular teaching. So let's revisit now the introduction, so let's go back to the introduction in terms of how you write your introduction, and then look at in terms of your topic sentences and your supporting evidence and things like that. Let's go back through the outline because the first draft of your sentence outline has to be uploaded on, it's due January 15. Okay, you have to upload it to Turnitin. All right, January 15 is, okay, it's 10 days away actually. It's next week Saturday. Right, next week Saturday, so you guys have some amount of time.
What is
And
next Saturday, sir? Sorry.
your sentence outline, the first draft of your sentence outline must be uploaded to Turnitin.
All right.
So let's go back. Let's just refresh your recollection in terms of writing introduction and so forth. All right. Let's do it from here. All right. So the first thing which so remember that the introduction has 3 parts, right? It has an opening, it has a background, and then it ends with the thesis. That's important. How you begin your introduction is equally important. So how you actually start your introduction is also important. And there are various ways of how you can start your introduction. It can be a direct quote, it can be brief statistics, it can be a definition, it can be a famous quote, it can be a starting statement. Do not start with a question. It can be a comparison, it can be contrast, and it can be that you give an opinion. You have to look at your broad topic and or narrowed topic / research question and make a determination how best to start your introduction. Okay. What you should also be very mindful of is that, so your opening can be 1 or 2 sentences. It can be 1 sentence, it can be 2 sentences. You must also be mindful of the fact that the sentence that comes after, let's just say that you start your introduction with a direct quotation. The sentence that comes after the direct quotation or a paraphrase or a summary must be an analysis of that sentence. In other words, linking what your opening says, not linking, how am I stating this? In other words, helping the reader to see the relevance of your opening. You have to help the reader to see the relevance of your opening. So in this case, the broad topic is child abuse and the narrow topic is measures that have been implemented to reduce child abuse, then and now. So the writer starts out, it was reported in a study that parents use leather belts. This is a direct quotation, right? The analysis that comes after, the analysis comes right after. It says, this report attests to the fact that child abuse is a social ill. In other words, the person or the author is linking what is said by the source to know the narrow topic. This report attests to the fact that child abuse is a social ill that has continued to plague society over centuries, which is the whole then and now. That is in the narrow topic. So it's very important that you don't leave your opening hanging. I think in one instance, I looked at an introduction and I saw two quotations. Your introduction should only cite one source, only one source being cited in your introduction. All right, so you need to look very carefully at your opening, how you start your introduction. The other thing that is important to your introduction are the background sentences. And the background sentences really are to provide some amount of context for the reader to understand your narrow topic. And your background sentences are 3 to 5 sentences in length. Sorry. And it says these sentences establish the significance of the subject and provide a context for the narrow topic or the general focus of the paper. So it's important for you to understand that as well. And again, no, this is an example of an introduction that does so successfully. Again, this is just repeating some of what was said before in terms of your introduction, the grab or the opening sentence. Then the students in each group quite often have different personalities. In other words, there's a kind of transition from the opening to the background and then to the thesis. Remember too that how you have your thesis statement written in your originally written it is not necessarily exactly how you're going to write it in your thesis when you have the thesis as the last sentence of your introduction. So please remember that the last sentence of your introduction is your thesis, and that is important for you to remember. All right. And these are various examples of introduction. I think one of the introductions that I would want us to look at is the, where is it? Turn it in. But which email? Oh, I'd have to sign out of this one and go into another one. Or can I? No, I probably need to log back in. Do I have some good introduction in this one? Let's see. Which group did I? Where did I find that young man's introduction yesterday? But let's look at his introduction. It might just work for us. I think some persons are struggling with their introduction, and some of the comments from Margaret reflects that. I agree with some of her comments in terms of the introduction. I think some people are really struggling with the introduction. You probably are you're thinking too hard about it. Sentence outline. Let's look here. I never said I wanted to do this. All right, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see if I can increase this. All right, so let's look at this. This is a relatively okay introduction. So broad topic, Internet of Things, research question, what are some of the problems associated with companies utilizing Internet of Things devices? So the person starts out, the Internet of Things or IoT refers to the billions of physical devices around the world that are now connected to the internet, collecting and sharing data. There shouldn't be a full stop here, the full stop should be here. This means any object can be turned into an Internet of Things device once it can be connected to the internet and be controlled by that medium. How does a person begin the introduction?
The definition.
With a definition. Do you think it makes sense to start with a definition?
Yes, sir.
Erica, we don't know what is Internet of
Internet of Things, right?
Exactly. So it makes sense for the writer to clarify to us what is meant by Internet of Things, right? What about the second sentence? What do you think is the purpose of the second sentence?
To help clarify what it is.
All right. Well, I wouldn't say clarify, but first of all, it is coming from a source, which is Ranger 2000 and 2018. There should be a comma here, 2018. But it's really to critically analyze or help the reader understand the relevance of the definition from Ranger to what he intends to write about. So he says this means any object can be turned into an Internet of Things device once it can connect to the internet and be controlled by that medium. All right, let's now look at the other sentences to see if they help us know. So what are some of the problems? With the rapid development and increase in connectivity of devices fighting for its own share of the wired or wireless pie, well, and businesses looking to leverage these technologies, it does not come without a cost. All right, that part, some parts of it is a little bit weak because he's using metaphors like wireless pi. You don't use metaphors. And then he says, as it stands, there are several uncertainties in business surrounding the sustainable utilization of Internet of Things, such as data privacy, cybersecurity, and device reliability. So it's a relatively okay introduction. It's not too long. It has its weaknesses, but it has its strengths. All right, because we do get a sense of what the issue is about. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's look at one of your introduction now. Who wants to share a screen? Let me look at your introduction.
Me, sir.
As quickly as you can. As quickly as you can, share the screen. You need to reduce the size so we can see, so what are some of the ways in which site managers can prevent accidents on a work site? Okay. All right, manager should take action. I don't know that I don't like the first sentence, a serious workplace injury can lead to fatality. I don't like the opening. I would have made the opening, the second sentence, I would have made it more general than being so specific. So you say at a Barangaroo construction site in Sydney, a bricklayer fell 30 meters to his death. I probably would have tried to find statistics that are far more broad. Instead of speaking to a specific instance, I would probably find data that speaks to something much broad, like the number of persons who die on construction sites or something like that. The second sentence doesn't help the first one because it is not an analysis of the first sentence. It seems to be moving on. According to the union representing the employee, he was not mentored and was not supervised. I think you're using too many sentences to speak about one specific instance. The consequences of safety breaches are serious and managers are held accountable for safety of employees. Scroll up for me, scroll up a sec. All right, go back down for me. That's what you're trying to do. And the problem with this introduction too, you start making recommendations. So employee protection is critical. That it doesn't sound like an introduction at all. Manager should motivate. That sounds like a conclusion because that's a recommendation. Should motivate employees to follow protocols and be fully alert when performing duties in order to prevent accidents. Yeah, the introduction is all over the place. It doesn't provide context to me for, probably you need to take out the scroll up. I wonder if you can take out the so what are some of the ways in which accidents can prevent it on a work site? Instead of site, I think you're struggling with the site managers, but probably what are some of the ways in which accidents can prevent it on a work site? Probably that could work, I think. And then you'd need to kind of fix the introduction, okay?
Yes, sir. That was the issue that we were
Thank you,
having.
sir.
That was the
Yeah.
issue because when we were researching,
Mm-hmm.
it gave us a lot of run around mostly, especially with one of the points that we gave in the thesis statements with
Mm-hmm.
maintaining equipments and tool. It gave a lot of different information. So
Mm-hmm.
it was really difficult for us. So we got it gave us some little insight on that so we can
Yeah,
fix
I
it.
take out the manager part because I see you're struggling with it. You're trying to fit the whole manager on into the introduction, and
Right,
that's
that's
where
what
the
we were doing.
right. Give me 1 sec, people. One sec, guys. All right. Anyone else wants to share their introduction, please? You hearing me? Anybody else wants to share their introduction?
Sir, I wish to share.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, what are the impacts of workplace safety on staff? All right, so structurally, this is problematic because I'm seeing 2 citations already in your introduction, and I see Krishnan et al. I think we spoke about et al. Before. How many authors is Krishnan?
Sure, I think it's 3 different authors.
Right, so did I not, what did we say how you're supposed to use et al.? Remember, I taught you how to do it, and you're supposed to go back to your paper and make the corrections.
Okay, sir.
And then I'm seeing another source before your so where is the thesis statement in the introduction? Where's the thesis? Remember, the last sentence in your introduction is your thesis. So
Sir,
where's
which
the
is
thesis?
this,
That's
the
not a
part where
thesis.
impact
That's not a thesis.
Okay, sir.
The thesis has the 3 subclaims. Where are the 3 subclaims in that?
Okay, sir. We made the adjustment.
So this introduction needs some serious work, okay?
Okay,
Structurally.
sir. Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, sir, Johnson.
All right, go ahead. So just according to there's something you say according to Lornman states that nearly, you don't realize that something is wrong with that. According to Lornman, then you say nearly 59% of employees claim they had no workplace training and that most of their skills were self-taught. The full stop must be inside of the quotation marks. And if this is coming, remember we said when it's direct quote, it must have a page number or paragraph number. It must begin with a capital N for nearly. Yeah, but what's the relevant, but you have not analyzed the second sentence. So you say according to Lornman, and then you leave the quote hanging. Remember, I said earlier that you have to link the opening. So the sentence that comes after the opening, especially if you start with a direct quote, must be an analysis of the quote. In other words, Norman has said this thing. How does that now help you to have a conversation? And then there's a run-on sentence. Numerous businesses have been changing rapidly. Comma, this is critical. You don't. Those are 2 different ideas.
Okay, sir.
And how many sentences are these? This introduction looks very long. Reasons for training. So write your research question instead of narrow topic. So what are the reasons for training and development in the workplace? And you write research question. So there are several reasons for training and development in the workplace, including or such as remove the comma. And I'm not getting a sense that I'm not seeing you. It helps. Your background sentences are not helping me to understand reason for training and development in the workplace. You're kind of just talking about training and development in a very general way. I'm not sure if that's the best start because its focus is on people not being trained. So I guess it's a contrast that you're trying to set up, but I'm not seeing the contrast. If that was the intention, I'm not seeing it. So again, this introduction needs some work.
Okay, sir.
All right. Anybody else wants to share screen? Oh, what's Michael's email? You could look at it as well. see if I can find. No one else wants to share screen? Okay, here it is. All right, that's Michael Lewis. He's supposed to also be able to help you with your papers. Give me a sec, guys. All right, so come on Monday and show me drafts of your paper, okay? Of your sentence outline. I need to look at your everybody's sentence outline. Everybody must come with your sentence outline on Monday. Okay?
Okay, so
All right, any other questions? I'm going to end the class because my nose is running like a chimney and I'm struggling to stay up.
So sorry, you're not taking any medication?
I've done some share of medication, but I'm not going to take too much medication.
Well, you need some turmeric and ginger with garlic.
Yeah, I just drank some tea earlier in my previous class. But thanks for the recommendation.
You're welcome.
All right, so guys, work on your outlines. You can send them to me and I'll try to give some feedback. I'll just do track changes as well in terms of feedback, okay? I'm going to end a little premature because I'm really,
All right, sir.
yeah, I'm really training like crazy. All right, guys, so I'll see you next week, Monday it is. And Happy New Year again. Welcome back to everybody.
yes, sir.
All right. Good night.
Night, sir.
Night, night.